Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so before we even start, I'm having issues with the smoke detector, so I'm likely going to have to get off of here and push the button, so just be ready for the beep. It's coming. The Los Angeles Lakers are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. Game 5 of the first round. The Lakers are down 3-1 in the series, and if they don't win the game, they're going home. The game is in our building, and if we win this game, we would be going back to Minnesota. And then if we happen to win that game, we come back here. So all things considered, you like that better than the other way around. You just live with that because that's what you're forced to live with. But yeah, the Lakers did some really stupid things throughout the course of the series, man. And as a result, we have our back against the wall. I'm pretty frustrated, as you guys know. I ain't pulling no punches. I've accepted my fate. I just don't know that you can win 3 games against Ant-Man when he has an opportunity to close you out in each of them. I just don't know if you can. You might be able to get 1 or 2 games, but I don't see you winning all 3 of them. And you need to win all 3 of them. And so that's really what we're faced with. Very unfortunate for us, but we put ourselves in this situation, and there's no doubt that if we're going to get out of this situation, we're going to have to dig ourselves out of it. So the Los Angeles Lakers, coming off a game where they just did not do much right. I mean, they had some good things happen for themselves, but they didn't play any of their bench in the fourth quarter, and didn't give the ball to LeBron James at all in the fourth quarter, except for a long 3-point shot, which a lot of people are criticizing. But I mean, I've been of the mindset that LeBron James tends to not really be on a winning frequency. This is what I've accused him of being, somebody who's won some, but he tends to do things down the stretch that don't lean into success, don't lean into his best. Kind of throws away bad possessions at times, and even though he's one an amazing clutch player at times, at the end of the day, certain things that he does instinctually just have him doing stuff that hurts his team sometimes, and especially when the pressure's on. And it's just what I've seen for 6 or 7 years. So with that being said, I hope that we're learning, but at the same time, year 22, I don't really know if that's what I see there. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic was mostly the issue out there, even though he was hitting a bunch of shots. He got 2 assists off, 1 rebound in that game. You can't expect like that to be very successful when you're running the same play over and over again. They're defending it very well. ISO, calling for the screen. They bring the double team. They ignore the screen and roller, and now they're crowding you near the half court line. It was such a eyesore to watch us continue to repeat that play over and over again, only for it not to be very successful most of the time. Rui Hachimura had a big bounce back game. We definitely appreciated that, but he's coming off a game before that where he was absolute crap. So what are you going to do there? Inconsistency continues. Gabe Vincent nowhere to be found basically in this entire series. There it is. I've been pressing the button, but every 5 minutes it just gets back to its nonsense. So I don't know. They have to fix it, but yeah, this is one of those situations where the Los Angeles Lakers are just going to have to try to dig their way, claw their way out of it. So that's what we expect to see our team do, and if they don't, then that'll be a season for us, man. We were happy that we got Luka Doncic. That's really what it comes down to. I'm very pleased that he's on the team, but for us to lose in the first round, it makes you wonder if he really wants to be here. Got to salute him for donating $5,000 to fix Kobe and Gigi's mural. I'm not sure which mural it was, but somebody came through and tagged over it. He donated $5,000 to get it done right, and we really appreciate that here, man. He just continues to show us his character in his class, and it makes you wonder one more reason why the Dallas Mavericks would get rid of a guy with a heart like that, man. So yeah, man, as far as the X's and O's of this last game, if I'm being honest with you, bro, I'm checked all the way out. I'm not wanting to pull punches. I don't lie to people. The Lakers can get me back into it by winning this basketball game, but I find ways of being at peace with my fate when I just start quitting before I should. Just a character flaw of mine. I hope the team doesn't adapt to that. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm kind of tired. But when I look at this game, one thing from Game 4 that I can take away is that they made an adjustment on the boards that I thought was pretty predictable. They had in Game 3 tied boards with us, 38-38. In this game, they came back and won it +8. We got to be ready for them to continue to do what they did that got them second chance points. If they don't have 18 offensive rebounds, they definitely do not win that basketball game. So that's something that needs to be said. If they don't get to the line 33 times, they definitely don't win that basketball game. Austin Reeves, I don't know what happened down there. I pride you on being one of the most intelligent players that we have, but that was very, very low IQ stuff going down there in the final minute of the game when he fouled. I think it was Jaden McDaniels on a layup. You're not blocking Jaden McDaniels at all, bro. I think it's safe to say that's a mistake you can't make. and you did, and we're in trouble because of that, amongst other things, of course. So I'm really hoping the Lakers can make me a believer, but we've been consistently bad in fourth quarters. I think we scored 20 points in the last fourth quarter, and it's been said that that is the most we scored in a fourth quarter in the 4 games we played in this series. So, we've just been getting outplayed by a better team, but I also think that we've done some things that worked against ourselves. We've been scrambling under pressure with our rotations, benching people like Jackson Hayes. He's not playing well, and he's not doing anything with the minutes that we give him. Uh, Phasing out Jordan Goodwin, Gabe Vincent, Vanderbilt being phased out, which I think is also somewhat of a mistake, although I understand that JJ don't know how to use that dude. We've been talking about this a lot. So I don't expect him to really use him tonight, even though he's probably our best bet to lock up Anthony Edwards. But it is what it is. We let Ant-Man get to the line 17 times in the last game after not getting to the line at all before that. How we defend Anthony Edwards has really been a story there, because some of the stuff that we've done has really worked. Other times we haven't been successful. But the one game that we held him to no assists was really key, and we got the victory there. They only scored 84 points or 85 points. That's a recipe for success. I think mucking the game up makes a lot of sense for us as well. More Jordan Goodwin, more Vanderbilt, making it ugly out there, trying to make it a clank fest, make it harder for them to score, because we certainly have difficulty scoring ourselves. And then just running more offensive plays. I don't think that, like I said, LeBron James didn't get enough touches down the stretch of the game in the last one. The one shot that he did finally get was like a pressure cooker type shot where he just launched something just because he had finally touched it. I didn't think that was good, but he did get to the line 18 times on 9 field goal attempts. We need him to continue to drive at the rim. I mean, if that's what you've been doing and getting us points all game, why the hell would you get away from that in the fourth quarter? I don't know, but we did like the defensive stats for LeBron: 3 steals, 3 blocks, and that was extremely good defense down the stretch of the game. So his overall stat line was fantastic, but just like in Game 3, he had an overall fantastic game and then fumbled the ball off his hands. At some point in time, we got to look at our GOAT and say, yo, we need you to be sharp through 48. If you're not sharp through 48, we're down 3-1. And that's where we're at. Got to be sharp through 48 minutes of play, man. And JJ Redick, I don't really know, man. I just think he doesn't know what he's doing. I listened to somebody say that they thought he was in over his head. That's exactly how I feel. He's gotten to a point where he's talking just jargon. At this point, I heard something that he said before the game: we got to treat Game 5 like it's Game 7. No shit, homie. You're down 3-1. If you lose this game, you're out. Game 7 is not in your future if you don't win this game. You don't have to say that. That speaks to you not really getting a lot of sleep or something, in my opinion. I thought that was one of the most redundant statements ever. Like, treat a Game 5 when you're back against the wall like as if it's a Game 7. This is more important than Game 7, because Game 7 means that you've gotten that far. You ain't get that far. You need to treat Game 7 like it's Game 5 when you're down 3-1. That's how you talk to your kids. But nevertheless, it is what it is, man. I just, at this point, looking at Dorian Finney-Smith, he needs to be more aggressive. He needs to be more efficient. If he's hitting shots, we're really doing good. I love the 6 assists that he had. I thought he had played well. He's been really taking on a lot of the brunt of the pressure of guarding bigs, and I think that's taken away from some of what he's doing as well. So, I give him a pass. Austin Reeves, like I've been saying, they just done a fantastic job. You tip your hat to Coach Finch and there, guys, for just knowing what to do to Austin, studying him and just neutralizing him. And Austin needs to continue to grow, become a better player, so that he can show up for his team in these circumstances against good defense. And if his limitations are going to be as they are, then that's just what he is, and we're just not going to have the pleasure of being able to launch him into a space for which we think he can go in terms of his potential. So that's on him to continue to work in the offseason, get stronger, get better, get faster, and everything that needs to be done. I'm sure Austin will do. I have all the confidence in the world in Austin Reeves, but I do think that he's been rather neutralized in this series, and I think most of that has to do with the credit you need to be given to the Minnesota Timberwolves, not necessarily mistakes that he's made, but that foul at the end of that game is going to haunt him for the rest of the season, the offseason rather, if we don't win tonight's game. So I just think this series has haunted a lot of people, man. I don't know. JJ Redick has been pretty bad in this series. For the most part, most of our players have been pretty bad in this series. Our fourth quarter woes, we're supposed to be the team that knows how to close, and Minnesota's supposed to be the team that doesn't, and they've been killing us in the fourth quarter of every game. I just think at the end of the day, the Los Angeles Lakers have really shown that they just didn't have their stuff together going into this series. and maybe they get it together from here. I can totally see us winning this basketball game and having all types of hope and let's go to Minnesota and all that rah. But you're just gonna have to show me you can do that before I start getting on board with that personally. This brain, nah, that's not how I operate. So yeah, man, that's really what I have to say. Of course, this thing is going to continue to annoy, but the Los Angeles Lakers are just a epitome of what it is I'm dealing with here every 5 minutes. You think it's gonna work out, and then all of a sudden you look up and you got to press the button again. I mean, that's kind of how it's been. The Lakers, you think they're gonna work out, and you look up and you take another loss again. But I am of the mindset that the Los Angeles Lakers still have an opportunity to win us a game here and get this thing back to Minnesota, and we do have a building to protect and pride to consider, and I think it makes it. I'm going to tell you this: it sounds a lot better when you lose in 6 than it does when you lose in 5, Los Angeles. So there should be some pride in extending this series just for the strength of making it sound a little better when you talk about what happened to you in the offseason. If you're going to lose this series, lose it in 6 or 7. Don't lose it at home in 5, letting that man dance off your floor and Julius Randle dancing around, all that stuff. You don't really want that. Let them win in front of their home court if they're going to do that. Protect your house if you want to have the respect that ultimately you probably deserve for how you've played. Because I think we've been better than a Game 5 exit, but not much better. So this is what the Minnesota Timberwolves are wearing on our home floor. Tonight we will be wearing our yellows, which is always something that makes me happy on our home floor. And, the Lakers got to protect this house, man. I don't want to go over X's and O's anymore. Luka the Don, that ISO stuff, it ain't working, man. Calling for screens only for the double team to neutralize you. I mean, at some point in time, we need Luka to say, yo, this ain't working. Luka needs to look at his coach and say, we ain't doing this. This is not helping us win. And I need people to be more mature. I need people to be more intentional on doing things that work and not just doing things that please the pecking order of understanding for where our franchise wants to go. Because I'm telling you right now, Luka don't need his ego stroked and get the ball 100 times only for him to lose a game. What he needs is to win the game. And I want our organization to understand that, because it seems like we don't. Amongst other things that we've complained about in that same vein, just doing things the wrong way, doing things for politics, and it leads you to not being very good. You're getting ousted in the first round if you lose this basketball game. Okay, and it's a lot of things that we did organizationally. It's a lot of things that the roster did. It's a lot of things that JJ did that contributed to why we find ourselves down 3-1 to a Minnesota Timberwolves team of whom we had home court advantage going into the series with. I would love to tell you that this is acceptable, and because we got the Luka, trade going, that's a championship for us. But Luka the Don is not Larry O'Brien. You understand me? A championship is a championship, and getting ousted in the first round is getting ousted in the first round. This is a failure amongst many failures in the LeBron James tenure, and I need my franchise to understand that. A lot of the stuff that y'all been doing a lot of the time has led to us being out before we get to the finals. Meanwhile, our rivals are packing the championships on top of one another. You know what I'm saying? Making the distance further and further from us. We just tied the Celtics. We just tied them, and they were able to get one almost 2 years, maybe 3 years after we got one. This year could be another Celtics year. They're getting further and further away from us. And I look at this front office and say, that shouldn't be. That should not be. You should be down there to defend every opportunity they have at a championship. You're disgusting us by allowing the Celtics to dominate the league without us having anything to say about it. Getting ousted in the first round the same year they winning championships, you disgrace us. And that's why I'm of the mindset, look, you got this front office extension for Rob Pelinka. Hey, man, I thank you for doing the Luka trade. You really got Dallas. But you have got to figure out better decision-making for the rest of the damn roster. Better decision-making, man. Better overall decision-making. That Mark Williams situation, if there was any chance that his injury-prone ways were going to keep us from wanting to go through with the trade, it should not have been done at the deadline. These are the little things that hurt us. Player options versus team options. You know what I mean? Putting it in the player's hand even though he don't have the leverage anywhere else in the league. These little things really contribute to your team not being very good. Picking a Gabe Vincent over a so-and-so. Picking this player over so-and-so. These type of things are why we're not very good right now. Not having a center that we can rely upon that's worth any playing time in the playoffs. These type of things. People can look at the stars. You can look at the coach. But we got to look at Rob Pelinka and say, these are the things. These are the things that truly put us in a position to not have enough, brother. And it's high time we start pointing these things out. to say if they continue, we're going to continue to be ousted in the first round and not make our way to the final. And so that's really what it is, man. Y'all threw LeBron James' tenure basically away. Hopefully he has another year left in him next year to do the same thing. But when you start getting in the age that he's in, you can't count on him from year in to year out. That's not. Half of what makes your team go could potentially go down to half of what it's been in a matter of 6 months just off the strength of his age. How are you going to make up for that? You're going to put the ball in Luka's hands, keep doing this crap? I guarantee you're going to be ousted in the first round again next year. Just like we were ousted in the first round last year. So the Lakers need to get their act together. They need to make some good decisions. They need to learn from mistakes and start doing things around the margins significantly better. And that's really what today's conversation is about, not necessarily this basketball game, because we're going up against Anthony Edwards, and he has 3 tries to knock us out. And when you have a killer like that going up against you, we've seen this movie a million times. You don't have too many chances left to live. You don't. That's a killer, and he's got you in his eyesight. So your only hope is him getting hurt, and we're not asking for that. So that's what I truly think. You can win tonight, you can win the next game, but you're giving Anthony Edwards 3 tries to kill you, man. I just don't like those odds, and I don't think most people do. So let's see what the team thinks, though. We also got Luka Doncic. He's a killer. I know he has killer instinct, but can we put a competent enough system and circumstance around him over the next 3 games, particularly this game today, to give him a chance at being effective in killing, or is he just going to be getting killed by another killer? And that's really what it is. You know, I want the Lakers to learn from Dallas. 3 years ago, Dallas wasn't good enough at all because they didn't have any center play. Before they got Lively, Gafford, before they were able to do all the different things that they've done with getting size on the floor, Dallas was a team that you could lay the ball up on 100 times a game. And Luka's greatness and his killer mentality was not able to overcome that. The Lakers are kind of in a similar situation right now. If you don't have rim protection and a lob threat for Luka Doncic, you're neutralizing him to being a player that's likely going to be on a bad team. Okay? So whatever the hell happens tonight, we need to get ourselves the lob threats, and we need to invest in that with some seriousness. Lob threats. Jalen Duren types. Derek Lively types. If you don't get those type of players, man, don't expect to get the most out of Luka. So that's really what I got to say, man. I'm going to go press this button again and get out of here, man, and get back here in time for a 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, rather, matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves, where I hope it is in our funeral, especially on our home floor. But honestly, the way the Lakers have been giving up these last couple years, when times like this come around, getting ousted by the Denver Nuggets, you know, I don't know what to expect. But I do know I'm not getting my hopes up. I know that. So I suggest you don't as well. We're going to root our team on, but I'd hope if we lose this game, ain't nobody crying, because you should already have it in your head early if you ask me. I'm not the rah-rah guy. I'm the guy that says, yo, Anthony Edwards, he ain't to be toyed with, and we've been toying with him all series long, not treating him like he's that guy. Okay? Making Jaden McDaniels look like an all-star. Okay, letting Julius Randle have a renaissance year against us. Okay, if y'all want to play like that, you're going to be going the first round, though. So here we are, man. What's this team going to do? BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching.